guys, welcome to Just Vibey Vibes. Welcome to our Raised in Africa series. Okay, today we're going to talk about domestic abuse. I have seen it's a normal thing anyway, but then there's this story that I saw, not a normal thing, like it's a normal thing that happens a lot if you're raised in Africa. Domestic abuse is like a normal thing, but it's something that shouldn't be normal, and it's something that kills. I have had a personal experience, not that anybody beat anybody in my house, because growing up in my family, beating was not a thing. Like, my parents never beat me. I said that before, and that's true. But my teachers in school, did they flog me? Of course they did. I was always on names of noisemakers and all that stuff. So yes, I did get punished, I did get flogged, I did get beat and all that stuff, but it was never in my home. But then I remember I had there's this girl that moved in my neighborhood. I've said this story before. She moved into my neighborhood, and then, you know, when a girl back home moves into a neighborhood and she's pretty, every guy is like, or majority of the guys are looking for like who will be the first to get her. So all the guys are asking her out, and then she fell for this one, and then somehow she fell for this guy, but then he just kept on beating her. Like, when they started dating, then he just kept on beating her, and no matter what, we've arrested the guy. Like, the people have arrested the guy, they've gone to find her auntie, everything. This girl just keeps on going back to him, and then finally they start even living together in his family home, like with his mom and all that siblings. But then they started living together. She was about maybe 8 months pregnant. She was really big. I don't know how many months she was. And one day he was beating her so bad, kicking her in the stomach. The mom was crying. That is all I remember. Though I can't remember if she had the baby, if she never had the baby. To be honest, I can't remember that. So I don't think she died, because she did, we would have heard about it. But then maybe she finally left. I can't remember what happened. I was a bit little that, but I remember that this girl was very beautiful when she came to live in our area. But then by the time this guy has beat her, he literally rearranged her face. I don't know how that is possible, but this girl was like ajebo. You know, if you're in Nigeria, you know what they call ajebota, you know, like rich man children. Like someone that has just been, you know, her face fresh, everything, like her shape of her face good, her skin so soft. This guy will beat her like there will be water, like you see her skin, there will be like, you know, the fluid would be, you see the skin and then you see the fluid. That's what he did to her, until I don't know how he did it. He rearranged the shape of her face. Her face now become like, you know, all them gangster. Like, she now looks so hard, like someone that has gone through a lot of hardship, from someone that was looking like, you know, someone that has just been enjoying her whole life, to someone that has been going through, like, she looked really bad. And I remember seeing this growing up, and I said to myself, never would I let anybody touch me. And as old as I am now, no guys, I would say no guys ever beat me, because the day you touch me, like even just slap me, that would be the end of our relationship. Because what's there to have a relationship with? Because when someone starts, they're not going to end, and that is a fact. So now I saw this story, and it just, you know, brought this back. So this was the monologue, or whatever you want to call it, before the story. I'm going to read it out, and I'll try to put the image on the screen so that you can also read along with me. Okay, so it's written here, because I had to look for this story. It was 2 weeks ago, but so many things have just, like, there's so many things I wanted to talk about, but then I'm like, this story had just been at the back of my mind. I was going to actually talk about it last week, but then I think what I talked about was more prevalent there, because this is something that's ongoing. But for some reason, I just this series is just for us to see what we are doing wrong, and just see how we can work on it, how people can stop condoning it, how people can stop asking what did the victim do, how did they talk. That shouldn't matter. My mom and my dad, they didn't have issues like that, but when they had issue, if my mom even starts talking, my dad would just wear his clothes and go out, and then he comes back, and then they are good, and do myself will not eat. She'll be waiting for him to come back before she eats, like, and then they just said to, I don't know, but they never really had any ever, like, you know, punches and all that stuff, or even the argument even being too loud. Never really heard that. Okay, so let me read the story from where my source that I had to look for it. So I had to go through. There's this person that always posts things on YouTube, but it's like the normal distance. I had to go through that, because if I go through the other blogs, it's gonna take me 1 year to find it. Okay, another beautiful soul lost to domestic violence. When barrister Adeze Destiny Ipeama got married. That name sounds familiar. It sounds like the name of the woman. I remember the story I did where the billionaire evicted his wife. I think that was their surname. I don't know, it sounds the same. I'm not sure. Ipeama got married to Anthony Elvis Ikpeama in 2014. Little did she know that the institution she looked forward to enjoying would cut her life journey short. Immediately the marriage was sealed, the man Adeze got married to turn into a beast by turning the Madonna-trained lawyer. Madonna is a university, in case you're not from Nigeria, and it's a private university, so it's expensive, into a punching bag. Even when relatives from both sides intervened several times by pleading with Anthony to stop beating his wife, meaning that they knew, they still kept her there. Nobody took her away. They only pleaded with him to stop beating his wife. Okay. If not for anything, she's the mother of her kids and her partner. You know, she's the mother of his kids and he's her partner. Man was obtuse as he continued to beat the poor girl anytime he was not in a good mood. 2 days ago, another round of beating started, and this time around it was very intense, which eventually ended up taking her life. That Adeze was 6 months pregnant was not enough to stop him in his track. Rather, it intensified the beating of the poor girl. His focus was the tummy, as he was punching her 6 months pregnant tummy with righteous anger and all the energy he could muster. He did not stop till she gave up and went into a coma, but that is not the full story. When Adeze went to a coma and was rushed to the hospital by her good neighbors who came to her aid, Anthony followed them to the hospital, and immediately she was admitted and oxygen was placed on her to resuscitate her. The husband went to her bedside and then removed the oxygen mask. That was how Adeze suffered cardiac arrest and died. A Good Samaritan alerted Madonna-trained lawyers based in Lagos of what had befallen one of their own and mentioned that the veiled husband is in hiding after killing his wife. My good man Okekero Chukwuezegu Kingsley swung into Chukwuezugo Kingsley swung into action. Someone will not believe that I actually have an Igbo name, and my language, my mom's language, is actually similar to Igbo. The way I'm pronouncing, I'm slaughtering these names. Okay, swung into action by rallying our colleagues in Lagos. Immediately, the sad news was relayed to them to get justice for one of us who was brutally murdered by the husband. Police AIG in charge of Lagos was informed, and Oga AIG was gracious enough to provide policemen that assisted in arresting the alleged murderer. Happy to announce that Anthony Ikpeama was arrested this morning after he was tracked to his hideout in Ajah, Lagos, where he was hiding. Such a sad story, and I hope that the husband who killed her will be sentenced to death. Beautiful Adeze left behind 2 children who are still young to understand or comprehend what happened to their mother. May her soul rest in peace. Written by Chukwudi Iwochukwu. Is that not sad? Is that sad or is that sad? Wow. You see, I told you when I don't know if you must have watched my Let's Talk series about happiness. Today was one of those days, but this period has just been one of those periods, you know. So happiness is quite important. Okay, let me go back to the story. Imagine that. Like, it is so sad to me that they knew, her family knew that he was beating her, but they still left her there. This is one thing that African family, they do a lot. They know that someone is abusing their child. Send boys if you don't have a male in your family. Let them go beat this guy very well. At least sometimes this our lawlessness or whatever can work in your favor. Get them to beat the hell out of him and take your daughter away from that. Because she has children, so what? If they had done that, she would still be alive today. But no, the man wanted to kill her. Now, guess what? He's going to marry another woman. Because guess what? Now, okay, this story was 2 weeks ago. I don't know if I can find the other one. I'll find it. He went and somehow with money, because you know money talks and bullshit works. People are like, the amount of people that don't know how evil they are, that don't know that they are devil personified in Nigeria. I don't know. Because how can that kind of thing happen? Someone actually gave I don't know how they gave, is it a medical statement or whatever of her death to say that it's not the husband that killed her, she died out of, I don't know, they just gave something. So he found that with a good lawyer, he was on bail, but I don't know if the case is still going to court or anything. It's just too sad. With money, he might just walk away, and then tomorrow he'll go and marry another woman, and then he's going to tell them, oh no, it's a lie, and he's going to put every story. And women are so easy, because women, like, because of the pressure that the society has put on women to get married, they will marry anything just to answer a missus. That is why she didn't leave the home, because she's a missus. No, if she leave, not the shame. Now, where's the shame? Do dead bodies have shame? Rubbish. Like, seriously, I'm sorry, maybe I feel like I'm blaming her, but I'm blaming him, but I'm blaming the society, and I'm blaming her family that knew about this and did nothing. It's pissing that this kind of thing can happen. It's really, really pissing. So anyway, that's how she died. Left 2 children to him. Maybe who knows, the next woman that he's going to marry that's going to look after them, or maybe the family will take the children. You never know what will happen in this case. And we know that some children, when they stay family, then they suffer. You know, she might be lucky and then she has family that will actually really take care of her children, or she might be unlucky and then she'll have family that will mistreat the children. Children can be molested, different things could happen to them, beaten. We see stories of that every day. Burnt with iron. There's so many things that can happen if you don't take care of your children. Yourself, God have mercy. There's so many things that can happen if you don't take care of your children yourself. In Nigeria, so many things. And then she's so young. She's like 20 something. Life just ended so fast. It is so sad. So yeah, so this story, I wanted to talk about this story, but then I just wanted to talk this domestic abuse situation. It needs to end. Please stop asking. I don't care what the person did. Stop asking, how did they talk, how did they sound, did they do this, did they do that. Like, everybody, a woman should not put hand on a man same way the man should not put hand on a woman. If you date a woman and she likes to beat you and she likes to, then leave her. If you date a man and he likes to, all these things don't start overnight. He must have shown it. He might have seen his anger, maybe he's holding it until he marries you, but you can see something. I don't know if I said this before. I dated someone, like, literally I moved from a different city to a different city. Like, we already had plans, job, you know what I mean? God, there was a job waiting for me and everything. So I moved, like, relocated, started doing the job I was supposed to do there and everything. And one day he got angry, and then I walked to the toilet. We're arguing about something, and then I walked to the toilet. I wanted to actually use the toilet, so I closed the. You always lock the door when you close the door. He was angry that he pushed the door open. I literally broke the door. He didn't touch me though, but he broke the door. I left because he broke the door. Because you know what that told me? Next time it will be my body. Because what kind of anger, like, I just left to go and pee, that makes you come to the door and then break the door, but then stand there and say, oh, I would have. I told him anyway. He said, oh, if I said, you will go to jail, and I would make sure of it. Are you mad? But good thing in the country I'm in, because he knew that if he touched me, he would go to jail, and he has a daughter. He would lose his child. So he knew that. Because he would have lost his child, trust me. I would have made sure he did that. But anyway, that is me. But that's to tell you, if he was in Nigeria, maybe he would have actually hit me. So, and I left. Like that, I left and went on a later time with the van and everything, with my uncle and the van, and then got all my things and came back to London. So you see, it kind of like, it doesn't matter. It didn't matter. I don't think about it like, oh, people have told people, you don't care what I've told people, you don't care if I've lived, I don't care. It wasn't even up to a month, I was back. So do not let anybody abuse you. Do not let yourself be a punchment. It's not only physical abuse though. There's psychological abuse, there's emotional abuse, there's so many mental abuse. Someone makes you feel like, before you know, some people that have low self-esteem, then they know how to, they can make it physical, but then they know how to emotionally abuse you. They make you feel like, you know, psychologically abuse you, because they have low self-esteem and they want you to feel lower than, less than them. And if you're someone that is bright and, you know, everything is going well for you, or like you're intelligent, and they try to bring you down and try to make you question yourself, all of that, whatever kind of abuse it is, like, don't let it. Once you smell it, like, if you think it is happening, then it is happening. That is my own. If you think, if your mind thinks, are you sure this is not, this guy is making me feel, or this girl is making me, it's happening, you need to leave. Don't condone this. Don't condone it in any way. Look at the poor girl. She's gone because of a society. I blame our society for this. I blame the girl, but I blame the society. Our society worships marriage. They worship it. Like, you know, if you're married, some people think that most of them are suffering their home. Anyway, that's all I have to say today. Say no to domestic abuse. Say no to any form of abuse anyway. I'll see you some other time. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye-bye.